This is the Café con Podcast.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello,
I'm
everybody.
Isaac.
And I'm
Isaac.
George.
And
This is the Café con Podcast.
Oh, man. Oh, that was funny. That was awesome. That was everything that I thought it was going to be, and that was everything that I thought it wasn't going to be. Thanks for listening, everybody. We love you, first and foremost. Today, we have business owner. Moved when he was 10 years old before there was any Cubans in Miami. Coach of intramural elementary Dade Christian School soccer and baseball. Was also a part-time magician for the children at Dade Christian. Sang with the South Florida Ballet. A horse owner. A boat owner. Saw the Triple Crown winner in person. We have the OG, my pops, the legend. We've got the ROSSIMAN on today. And dear God, it was lively. It was very, very lively. Yeah, man, it was cool. What did you take before I say anything? I think you should talk first.
I mean, we planned this last second, and once I heard, I was like excited. I knew it would be funny. But what I did get out of it, which I was striving to, because I knew it was going to be funny, was like ask questions that the responses would be enlightening. And he didn't go into like complete detail of things because they speak for themselves, right? You can just imagine. But just asking questions of like his upbringing and moving from one, country to another around that time as well was pretty cool to hear. So it's just cool to hear from someone that's seen a lot in life and is able to express themselves in a different manner than people are of our generation.
100.
So
That's what I was going to say. Man of his own generation, through and through, has been the same person all of our lives. I mean, I said it at the very end. I would not be the person I am today if it wasn't for him. He showed me through example just what it is to be a man. This is the guy that has a lot of responsibility for a lot more than just myself. It's a lot of people, man. Anybody that he talks to, anybody he comes in contact with, he affects. It's something that I've always found very inspiring about who he is that he just is who he is in front of. Doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter. If you're the CEO, if you're the janitor, it don't matter. He's the same. That's something that I've definitely taken. I agree with what you were saying. I knew it was going to be funny. I knew it was going to be lively. So I was, wanted to ask questions that would make him take the energy, sort of tone it down, and deliver. And it did in a lot of ways. Those were good questions you were asking. I gotta sort of double down on what you were saying. There were some really cool responses to the things that he's done in his life, the way that he finds happiness. Like, I just think, man, I don't even want to say too much about the content of what's coming. It's just, he is somebody that you just listen to when he speaks. He has that gift. And yeah, I just think that it was something in which it was last minute. I tried to kind of remove myself from, I'm like, let me just get out of the way. That's something that I just said before. I just kind of was meditating and praying and just said, let me just step out of the way and let him feel comfortable. And, it's his first podcast. So when somebody comes on their podcast and it's their first one, they don't know how, open they can be and things like that. So I loved it, man. Love the guy. He's the man. He's a great inspiration. So anyways, again, ladies and germs, boys and girls, ladies and germs, to take Tim Ferriss's. I love it when he says that. Appreciate all of you guys. This is a special one. This is one to go down in the annals of history. If you guys have anybody you think wants to come on, if you want us to talk about anything, let us know. And we may not. But we love you. Thank you for listening.
The liquid gold, baby.
Coffee review time. So this is the segment in which we review the coffee that we're drinking today, how it affects us, even taste whatever, right? But today, I love my mug. I'm drinking out of my Yosemite mug, and today I got myself the Arctic Blueberry North Pole coffee.
Whoa.
Yes, sir. Now, I've had this one on a couple of recordings. This is the one that Sky and I found when we went up to Fairbanks, Alaska, when we went to go see the Northern Lights. There was literally a town called North Pole. Oh, I'm fuzzy. Anyways, there's a town that's literally called the North Pole, and they have this coffee that tastes like blueberries. Oof. And there we go. And today, this coffee, it was one of those days I was like a little bit like, ooh, I need to get up. Bro, I'm going to give it a 7.9. 7.98 today. I'll give it a 7.9. 7.9 seems about right. Taste is amazing. It just tastes so unbelievable. The blueberry in it sometimes may feel a little weird, but it's amazing. It's not weird at all because the flavor is beautiful. I like to drink my coffee black as well. You know, I might have like a splash of some sort of creamer in there, but I had it today. It allowed me to be present the way I'm feeling. I might go for a second cup of coffee, which is why we're not in the 8 range. You know, that's why I'm keeping it in the 7.9. That Arctic Blueberry, highly recommend. You can buy pounds of it. I get 2 pounds from them, and they grind it the way you grind it. I do it French press. They'll send it to you. So shout out North Pole Coffee Company.
Shout out North Pole.
What about you?
I had the cafe Arabico. Arabico from the mountains of Puerto Rico. This time I added honey to it, still straight black, but with a good amount of honey. So I'd say like an 8.2.
Ooh.
It took away all I'm not the biggest fan of like bitter black coffee, but I'm tolerant. But that took away all the bitterness, obviously, because honey has a sugar element to it. So that was cool.
And how did it make you feel?
Good. Chilling.
8.2 is high, bro.
8.2's high.
That's a high mark. I don't think we've gotten into the 9s yet. I look forward to the day that we get to a 9.
I think I'm a sucker for cotadito or like a cafecito from La Carreta. So once I get one, I'll probably do that one of these days. I think those would be in the 9s because it's gonna slap me in the face, and I just love the taste of it. The taste of it is just
yeah.
It's like candy, bro.
All right, well, let's look forward to that on the next. Tune in next time on Café con Podcast.
No, man, I got it. It's a movie. Skateboard, snowboard. No, it's a game. Waterboard, snowboard. What's that? Okay. PlayStation 2.
Hi.
PlayStation 2.
Oh, did I get it for PlayStation 2?
Right here.
Oh. Push.
Dude, are you for Christmas?
Yeah.
Or he goes to his friend's
How
house.
about Christmas? That's still coming.
Or he goes to his friend's house. That's a good idea. Who got the PlayStation 2?
Yeah, who's gonna get one?
Mom? Oh, yeah, his friend's
Hugo, you gonna get one? Are you?
Why?
Maybe.
I'm not here. Why don't you go to
Maybe before him?
and look next to the TV?
Hey, what's that? What's that right there? What's this?
Why is it Matthew? What's this here?
What's this over here?
What?
What's
Hey,
this?
open it! What?
I got a band-aid on my finger.
How
What's
did I
that?
get there?
How did I get there?
How did I get
You know I have done a lot of magic in my time.
Oh, yeah, good job, bro.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, man.
Okay, Dad, you gotta set it up then.
Okay, go ahead. Can't wait.
We made it. I just want to say we made it. We have today the OG.
Oh my God.
The man, the myth, the legend.
The
My
voice.
pops.
The voice.
My pops.
What does
The
that
voice.
mean? OG, other guy, the other guy.
Original gangster.
Oh,
This is who we have.
original gangster.
This is who we have right here. Ready? Listen, Rossi.
Yes, sir.
This is the Cafe con Podcast.
Ooh,
Damn, that sounds familiar.
do that live. Do that. Can you do that for us, Rossi? Try to replicate that.
Can you play it again? Because I
Yes,
forgot
yes,
already
yes.
because of my
Yes.
age.
Yes.
I forget every 10 seconds.
This is the Cafe con Podcast.
This is the Café con Podcast.
Oh,
Liquid gold, baby.
Yeah.
Go.
Cheers
Wow.
to that. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Oh, man,
Who loves
I'm
you
so
guys? I
happy.
do, man. You guys are the best, okay?
We love you too, Rossi.
And remember that, I saw both of you grow up.
That's what I wanted
Which,
to talk about. That's where I was going to start off. What do you remember?
Here's what
is
I
there
remember.
any-
Here's
Yes,
what I
yes.
remember. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember watching you guys now and remembering that you grew up in front of me becomes to me an honor and a privilege. Okay. To have met you guys from birth. Well, I don't know about George Michael. From way back, man, when you guys were tiny little things, tiny tots. Okay, to today. I mean, it's amazing. I'm privileged and it's an honor. And God bless the fact that we're still talking right now. That's amazing.
Amen.
That's true.
Amen.
And I want you
God
guys
bless
to know that I'm so proud of you that it's unbelievable. Okay, I'm serious. To be doing this with you guys right now is out of control. Okay, probably one of the best moments of my life. How's that?
Oh
Wow.
my God.
No bullshit. I know you think I'm bullshitting. I'm not bullshitting.
I believe you.
Okay,
I believe you.
this is for real, bro.
I
Hey,
know.
did I
This
say
is,
bro?
Yeah.
I'm too old to talk like that.
oh my God, this is gonna be so funny. Look at this. Can you see the shirt that I'm wearing, Rossi?
Yeah, man. That's my.
You see what it is?
That's my native land,
Yeah. What is it?
Brazil.
Brazil.
So
why is it
since-
called
since-
Brasilia? Why is it called Brasilia? In
Well,
some
Brasilia
places?
is
capital.
a city in Brazil.
Oh,
It's actually the capital.
Yes, Captain.
It used to be Rio de Janeiro, but they made it. They wanted to move the people to the center of the country, so they established the capital in Brasilia, which is in the center of Brazil, basically,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
to get people to go there because everybody wanted to be on the coast. Everybody wanted to be in Rio, where I was born, where Copacabana Beach is.
Ipanema. Is that Ipanema? Is that?
Yes, the girl from Ipanema is from
I
Ipanema.
love that song. I love
Okay.
that song.
So yeah, that song is an old song. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah. Rossi,
That's
since you I have a lot I want to say a lot this episode. I'm sorry. I'm usually the quiet one, but I have a lot
Go,
to
baby.
unwrap.
Let it go.
But since you mentioned us, like you watched us growing up, and Isaac has a Brazil jersey on. Can you give us kind of your spiel on your your growing ages and like growing up in Brazil? How was that? Because it's a special place.
Sure. Yeah, the first of all, I was born there, and
Where exactly in Brazil?
I was born in Rio.
Okay.
Okay, so I was in Rio most of the time. My father was in the aircraft business. Back then, you used to have offices where people came in to buy tickets to fly. Okay, so he was like he was in charge of these ticket agencies, that represented the airlines. So he traveled around Brazil a little bit, and obviously we traveled with him from city to city. But in any case, he decided to come to the United States to chase the American dream. Back in 1953 is when we arrived in Miami. Miami, by the way, was just a little island, it seemed like. There was nothing here. It was small. It was like nothing compared to what it is today. And I want to give all the Cuban people the credit. And when they came in 58 and 57, they exploded the city and it became an international destination. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Miami is amazing. It's exploded, okay, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger,
It's still exploding.
which means the traffic is murder, okay? It's almost as bad as L.A.
What would you say? LA is the worst traffic you've ever seen?
The worst I've ever seen, man,
Yeah.
I've been in New
Brazil's
York.
pretty. There's a lot of people in Brazil too.
Oh,
The
yeah,
traffic
Rio.
is-
Man, the
the
traffic
traffic
is
is
murder
not
over
bad.
there. Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. I think the population in Rio is 6 million, 6.5 million, something
Wow.
like that. So you're talking at least double the population of Dade.
Yeah, what is? I was gonna say, what's Miami? 3 million?
Yeah, I think Miami's 3, and yeah, I think
LA's the worst.
Dade and Broward, I think, comes out to 3 point something. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
and it's
So-
only growing.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry to divert. So you got there in 50. What'd you say?
No, we got
53?
here to Miami in 1953.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want you guys to know that I went back to Brazil many, many times as I was growing up. My father would take us, my father and mother would take us back to Rio every year during the school recess for the summer. So we'd stay there for maybe 3-4 weeks and so forth and so on. So I went back there many times. And then when I was 21 years of age was the last time that I went there. And
You just went to Rio.
yeah, the last time that I was there as a
Before
young
this
man.
recent-
So then it took me almost another 50-something, 60 years to
Wow.
go back. And I
Right.
went back last year in 2023, September, and it was amazing, to go back. I relived my childhood. I went back to the place where I was raised. I went back to the beach where I used to play soccer because, Brazilians, when they're born, instead of balls, they have a soccer ball there.
Rossi, what
That's
was
why
it like
they're
growing
so
up?
good.
What was
That's
it like
why
growing
they're
up
so
in Brazil?
good.
What was it like growing up in Brazil? Because I mean, me being Colombian,
Yeah.
the reason why I ask is because me being Colombian and like I know us as Colombians, we hold Brazilians in a high regard because of soccer, right?
Sure.
Because you guys are known as like
Yeah.
the gurus of soccer, especially
Right.
in South America. So what was
Absolutely.
it like growing up there around that time?
Oh, it was awesome, man. It was beautiful. And going back, for those summer breaks, it was amazing, because as I went back, I was older and able to appreciate the scenery. You have the ocean and the mountains in the background. I mean, it's like a perfect scenario. It's just a simply gorgeous. Copacabana Beach is beautiful. Okay, and then you've got one of the 7 man-made
Wonders of the
What do they
world.
call it?
Mhm.
Wonders
Yeah.
of the world.
Wonders of the World, which is the Christ Redeemer. And so to see that and Sugarloaf Mountain, to go up to Sugarloaf Mountain. And by the way, where I lived was right underneath Sugarloaf Mountain,
Wow.
on the other side of the mountain. So it was a beach. There was a beach there. I learned how to swim there. I learned how to swim in that beach. I lived right across the street from the beach in an apartment building. Okay, it was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So anyway,
I can't go get it now, Sky. No, I can't. I can't. Sky, I can't, Mama. You're gonna have to deal with it. Oh my God. Well,
what
you're
happened?
gonna
She
have
saw a
to-
cockroach.
Yes, she sees the roach and she's freaking out. So she'll be okay.
Hey, by the way,
What?
cockroaches is, why we can have a nuclear war and the cockroaches would never, the cockroaches would still exist,
Yep.
and people ask all the time, well, why is it? Because, they do have a double skeleton, and it's kind of hard to kill them. But I always tell them, listen, if we have a nuclear war, the cockroaches will survive because there'll be nobody left to step on them.
I know. That's why. I had a question when you were talking about moving. Do you remember when you came? I don't think I've ever asked you this. How did you feel as a little kid moving from Brazil to Florida? Did you not want to go? Did you want to go?
Well,
So
we
I know
didn't
it's when
have, back in those days, kids didn't have any choices.
No, I know.
We
I know
actually
you didn't have a
listened
choice.
to our parents, if you will, okay? And we drank out of the water hose instead of little darling water bottles, okay? And our parents told us to stay outside. Don't come inside.
Until the
It was
sun went down.
Exactly the opposite, okay? So now
That's
it's, hey,
true.
come inside because you never know what's out there. It's dangerous and blah, 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 blah. Our parents told us, get outside.
Okay, in this savage land that you grew up in, when you were
Yeah.
10, that made you. How was it when you moved when you were 10, though? Were you like a fish out of water? What is that? Oh, just making coffee.
Hey.
All right. Okay.
What do you
The
think that
infamous-
is, man? That's cute.
The
I know.
infamous.
She's making it right now.
That's Cuban
Yeah,
coffee.
yeah, Rossi, how was
my
the
God,
transition?
does that
Oh
smell
my
good?
God. Very beautiful.
That smells good.
Beautiful. You see, my
That smells better than my favorite cologne. That cafe, man. Cafe con podcast.
Okay, go back to when you first moved. How was it? Were you a fish out of water when you came here from Brazil? 'Cause
Well,
you said the
sure.
Cubans
I had to
weren't here
learn the
yet.
language and everything. So took me about a week, and I learned English completely.
No way. No way. Oh my god.
You guys actually bought that for a minute.
Yeah, I did.
Or should I
because
say a
it's you.
second? A second, not a minute.
Rossi, but how was that transition? Because my dad tells me about his experience, and he didn't like it. Like he actually moved back to Colombia for about a year.
How
or
old was he
two.
when he came?
About 13, 14.
Okay, he was, I came when I was 9 and turned 10 right after we arrived. So, he came here with a little more memory of there and a little more experience, being around there. So it's a little bit of a difference. 13, come here, 13, 14, you've lived quite a bit there in the country that you came from. So it's a little bit different. I came here when I was 9 years old and I turned 10 6 months after we arrived. So, there wasn't really much of a trauma at all. And like I said before, it didn't matter because nobody cared if you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Right? You know how it is back then. It was different.
Of course.
Man, different.
I think that's definitely when you have to move. And you moved because your dad's business, right? Is that why you guys moved?
No, he actually no. When he got here, he actually opened up a business of exporting airplane parts back to Brazil from the surplus of the Second World War. So there was a surplus in aircraft.
Wow.
Yeah. So he would buy the surplus airplane parts from the federal government and then sell them and ship them back to Brazil to customers that he already had lined up before they came here. Actually, one of the customers was the Brazilian Air Force, because when we were flying jets here, they were still flying propeller aircraft in Brazil. So that was so he made a lot of money, and he realized the American dream. He really did. But he was, he was a hardworking guy. Both him and my uncle, they were partners. They were awesome, and they were hard workers. And that's where I learned my work ethic from those two fellas. It was amazing. Okay, they were awesome.
So hold on. So then, why did your parents want to move from Brazil to the U.S.? Just for like the American dream type of thing?
Yes, yeah, chasing the American dream, establish a business here. They had connections down there, so they planned this and they actually executed it, and came here, and it became very successful. So
wow.
For them, it worked out really well.
Were they thinking of any other cities to live in, or just Miami was like?
We've been in Miami. I've traveled all over, but my home has always been in Miami. Miami, believe it or not, resembles where we came from. With the water and the beaches and everything else. That's always been in our background, so kind of stays with you.
Had you visited the States before you like permanently moved here?
No, that was.
So what was your first impression? I know you mentioned earlier like there was nothing here, but like what was your first impression of Miami?
Well, first of all, there were no Latins in Miami. Okay.
Wow.
None. I'll give you an example. I was one of the first Latins to go in 1953 or 54 to go to East Hialeah Elementary.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
So what was it? Was it all Caucasian? Was it all Caucasians?
If you can find an American there, you're lucky now. Okay.
Yes, that's true.
So it's all Latinos. So
before it was just
the way Miami
Caucasians.
was.
Before it was just Caucasians.
Yeah. White
Oh,
folks.
wow.
Is that Caucasian?
Yeah.
Wild.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
A lot of white folks.
It's always been an interesting word of calling white folks Caucasian, because I'm always like, there's the word Asian in there. That always threw me off when I was younger. Caucasian.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, that's crazy. There was like literally none of that. Okay,
It's
so
like
now
an alternate world.
let's bring, and now I want to bring it to us. So now you were talking about the way you grew up in Miami.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about how. Oh, here she comes.
Let's talk about you.
I wish I could have some. I wish I could have some.
Oh, here she comes. Oh boy. Yeah, there we go.
There's the chiquita with the cafe.
You see?
Man.
You know what's funny? Yesterday she was like, "Oh, you're gonna put me to work," and I was like, "I don't want to be on the podcast." That's what she was saying. And then look at what she just did. That's what's funny to me.
Yeah, so
All right. So then talk about how when we grew up, do you remember the first time that you met George Michael? Do you remember the earliest memory of George Michael?
I tried.
What-
I try to forget it, but
I would too.
What do you remember about George Michael as a child? That's what I want to know.
You know what I remember?
No
of
filter,
George
no filter.
Michael, what I remember about him is that you remember when I was coaching soccer.
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Okay. I was coaching soccer and that son of a gun. Okay.
How old were we? Well, like lay down the whole
Oh,
whole.
man, you were a young dude still. You know?
6, 7. We were like
Whatever
6
it
or
was,
7.
I can't remember. But the thing is that he was so good. He was so good that we could never win from him. You know.
I know.
And that's how I remember. I said, "That son of a gun." You know, maybe we can break his legs or something. I don't know. I mean, something like that. I don't know. Maybe stick a nail in his foot. I don't know.
Oh my God.
What do you think?
Because for those that don't know, Rossi was a coach of one of the teams.
That's
which
what
the
I
team,
wanted to-
the team that
yeah.
Isaac was on.
Yeah,
so-
I was coaching Isaac's team, and Kyle was on it. You remember Kyle? Yeah.
Of course.
And then I remember we were finally winning a game, and I don't know if you guys remember this or not, Isaac, but Kyle, your friend Kyle, okay?
Yep.
His mother came to me. I was on the sideline. She came to me and she says, "I got to take Kyle out of the game." I said, "What are you talking about? We're winning, Tina." And she goes, "He needs water. He's thirsty." I go, "No, he doesn't need any water. He's not thirsty. Don't take him out. Leave him in there." "Oh no, you got to take him out." I said, we can't take him out." Okay, and he kept playing
Because
for
Kyle was a great soccer player.
Yeah, he was.
That's
He was
why.
very good.
He was a great soccer
Really good
player
soccer
for
player.
that age.
Yeah, he was
great.
good, man. He was good.
Really
Yes.
good.
Yes. He's
But we had a
drinking
ball.
coffee.
That was another milestone of my life. Was able to coach Isaac and be around him while he was going to school. I also, remember a little stint on the baseball.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
That was 5th
but
grade.
baseball. I didn't enjoy that much because the parents would be in the back there while people were batting, and I'd say, "Okay, well, hit over there to the right field," and then one of the dads would go, "No, hit to the left field," and I'm going,
Yep.
"What the hell?"
And we're
who's the
10
coach
years
here,
old.
Huh?
And we're 10 years
We're
old.
years old. So everything I was saying, the parents would say the opposite. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Well, it's like, why would you tell your kid, what do you think your kid's going to do? Be an MLB player at
Yeah.
the age of 10? That's the thing I never understood about
true
when
that.
parents get
So-
super intense about it. I'm like, dude, it's the child that you're talking about. So you said that was a milestone. Why was that a milestone? Why did you enjoy?
Because I really enjoyed it. It was a good time in my life, and I really enjoyed it. It was awesome, being around you guys, seeing you grow up like that, and playing sports. I mean, and enjoying school, and yeah, I mean, it was just awesome. Okay, it was just awesome watching that. Really, really exciting for me. Especially at the age that I was at that time.
You were definitely a force. Whenever you'd walk into school, he'd have a suit on. He'd be the only coach that's dressed like what's this
Riley.
guy's name? Lambo. Not him. No. What's the Super Bowl trophy's name? I'm blanking.
Yeah, Lambo.
No. That wasn't his
Lombardi.
name. Lombardi. Coach Lombardi.
Vince
Yeah,
Lombardi.
Lombardi.
Yeah, Vince Lombardi.
Or Pat
Walking
Riley.
in, yes, dude, walking with a full-on suit
Yeah.
in 98-degree South Florida weather to go and coach little kids playing soccer. That's it.
Man, I'll tell you what.
So funny.
You're talking about Vince Lombardi. The Lombardi Trophy. You remember that? Yeah.
Yep.
So I remember when the NFL, it was the American Football League and the National Football League. Okay.
Yep.
So I saw the first game. I saw the first
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Wow.
So I've seen every Super Bowl.
That was
And
Johnny Unitas, wasn't it?
Johnny Unitas,
The Colts?
and then you had
Yep.
for the Baltimore Colts, and then you had of course you had Broadway Joe Namath
Oh,
for the for New York Jets.
The
And
Colts won
called
that
it.
one, right? The first one?
yeah, the
Pardon me?
Colts won the first one.
The Colts won the first one? Dang, you're right. They were in Baltimore.
Yep.
Yeah, and Joe Namath, of course, won from Shula
New
when
York.
Shula was coaching. He was
The
what
Dolphins.
was he coaching?
The Dolphins, no?
No, it wasn't the Dolphins. It was Baltimore
Before them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
One of
it was
those
the Colts,
I
I
just
think.
know that Broadway Joe got Broadway Joe because he's the one that called it. He was wearing the mink coat.
Yeah,
And
he
he said
actually
that they were
called
going to
it.
win the Super Bowl. Yeah.
He was like Muhammad Ali. I'm going to knock him out in the third round, and bam, he knocked him out in the third
Yes.
round. And Joe Namath called it. He says, "I'm going to win. I'm going to win the Super Bowl," and he won it.
And they haven't
And the
won
coach
since.
that he won against was Don Shula.
Legend. Did you ever get to meet Shula Rossi?
Yeah, I met him at the over there at the Miami Lakes, but briefly,
Yeah.
just hey, coach, how you doing? And he goes, hey, how you doing?
Wow.
That was it. That was the meeting. It's not
What
like
what a legendary facility, huh?
oh yeah. That was
I-
that was a nice place. That was beautiful, and
Yeah.
Miami Lakes was awesome. A lot of stuff named after him, and
Yes, as it should be.
he had a he had a tremendous impact in Miami. Shula did. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody knew Miami because of Shula. I mean, seriously, for a while.
That's kind of crazy. You moved here in '53. The Dolphins had the perfect season in '72. Those times must have been so. You were already a grown man at that point. You were in your 30s, right?
Yeah, I watched every game that the Dolphins played in the undefeated season, and
How was that season?
oh man, it was
Like the
amazing.
city.
The part was that the substitute quarterback
Yes.
played,
Pretty much
played
every
all-
game.
Huh?
Pretty much every game.
Yeah, played every game, and then all of a sudden, when they began the playoffs, Shula says, "No, I want
Greasy.
Bob Greasy back as the
Wow.
quarterback." And I went, "Oh my God, you really? He hasn't played all this time. He was hurt and everything else, and he put him in there to play on the playoffs and everything else, and the guy won every single game. It was amazing. I don't know how he made that decision. I don't know how he made
Great
that
coach.
decision.
Great coaching.
But,
That's what
you
it's
know,
about.
How was it to see Zonka play?
Pardon me?
How was it to see Zonka play the running back?
Oh, Zonka was amazing, man. Yeah. He was amazing. All right. He was amazing. I mean, he would go through the line and take like 2 or 3 people on his back.
Yes, that's
and
what I was
score,
going to say.
man.
They don't make
What
them like
the hell
that
is he
anymore.
doing,
He was like a fridge.
He
would
was like
literally
a tank,
go
a tank
yes.
going right through the line, man.
Yeah.
And he'd
Yeah.
take people with him. Oh my God.
And they would bounce off
was
him
amazing.
like bowling pins. That's the
course.
thing. Those dudes back then, bro, that was different. They would
was
have
different.
second jobs in the off season.
Yeah,
That's
Larry
something else
Zonka.
that was crazy.
So blue.
He was
collar.
awesome, Larry
Bro.
Zonka, man. He was awesome. So anyway, to make a long story short, I've seen everything happening here in Miami all these years, and Miami is a great city. As a matter of fact, a lot of people ask me where I'm from in New York.
Yeah, that's true.
All I've done in New York is go to Manhattan, see a show, and then fly back.
Yeah.
Hey,
but,
so,
but
what-
you
what-
feed into it though. You do feed into
Yeah.
it because I've been there before. When people are like, "Hey, what part of New York are you from?" You're like, I'm from Queens. I'm from Queens." They're like, "No shit, I'm from Queens. What part of Queens are you
Yeah,
from?" He's
that's
like,
when I get blown away.
I'm from. Yeah,
That's
he's like,
when I
"I'm
get
from.
blown
Where are you
away.
from? Where are you from in Queens?" And the person goes, "I'm from 52nd." He goes, "Yeah, I'm right around from there. I'm right around from there." No
Yeah.
shit, I knew you were from New York. And you're
Yeah.
like, "He's not from New York. He's not even close to."
Oh, a lot of
being from
times
New
they'll
York."
ask me, "Where you from in New York?" I say, "I'm not from New York, but I'm in a New York state of mind."
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah,
That is
man.
true.
So,
Ooh, let's
Hey,
talk
so-
about seeing the Triple Crown. I want to talk about that going to New York.
Ooh.
Triple Crown, man. Yeah.
Because that was one of the best. That was one of the best sporting events I've ever been to, and I'm not really into horse racing that much, but
No,
that
you're
was
not, yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, that was
Wha-
awesome. If you remember, we went to New York because it was California Chrome.
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
it was touted to win the Triple Crown, and
It was the first one in 30 something years, right? Something like that.
I can't remember how long it had been, but
Yeah.
anyway, I think it'd been a while, and so we went there to see it in New York, and the horse didn't win.
Yeah,
So
shat the bed.
yeah,
it was
I mean,
really bad.
I can't remember. He came in fourth, fifth, whatever.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay,
bad.
it was bad. Everybody was disappointed. There was 120,000 people at the racetrack. 120,000 people. It was, I mean, the bathroom line, it was so bad that the women, okay, were coming into the men's room because their line was so damn long. I mean, it was long. So anyway, the next year it was what was it, Isaac?
American Pharaoh.
American Pharaoh had won the first two races of the Triple Crown and was going to run in New York for the Triple Crown, and he was touted to win it, just like California Chrome was the year before. And then I said, you know what? I want to see one live, man, just one time, to see the Triple Crown winner race, that last race. So we went back again the following year, okay? And sure enough, the horse won that time. So we had pictures and,
Wow.
a bunch of memories and stuff like that.
You got to
was
play it
amazing.
up.
It was awesome,
that
we had a
whole
ball.
I'll never forget the beginning of the race.
Yeah.
Everybody is standing up, right? They say, and they're off. Yeah. And they start running. Everybody's like, ah.
Yeah.
They go around the first turn. Everybody kind of like quiets down a little bit more. They go around the first stretch and it's silent.
Yeah.
Because he's winning. Because American Pharaoh's winning. And there was over 120,000 this time. There's so many people there.
Of people there.
And it was silent around the first stretch, and it's going, and then he's coming around the last turn, and then you can hear, because he's in first still, you can hear people going, oh, and then he comes around the final stretch. I mean, he killed everybody else, but when he came around the final stretch, everybody was like, like it was the craziest sporting event I had ever been at in my entire life.
It was out of control.
It was people were hugging each other, high-fiving. Nobody knew it. It was the best, bro.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, and that was incredible. How did you get into horse racing, though, Rossi?
Well, my father was a fan of horse racing, and so we kind of grew up around it. And there was a couple of years there, if you recall, that I had my own race horses from the year 2016 to 2018. I had some partners, and we actually went into horse racing. I mean, basically for fun, not.
But that's a life goal of yours. That was a bucket list.
That was, it was like something that I really wanted to do. I remember my father wanting to do that and never did. So I said, maybe I'll do it in his name. But anyway, we had a ball, and I had some winners and losers, and my friends were making fun of me and everything else. They'd send me, pictures of a horse, hopping on just two legs, and go, "Hey, Lou, that's your horse. It's still running." Stuff like that. It was crazy, man. So finally, I said, the hell with it. I'm stopping. So it lasted 2 years, and I had a great time. I had a wonderful time. And Isaac went with me to a couple of them. He saw them, and we had a ball. We had a ball. So
Sky did too.
That's
Sky,
how I got
Sky
into
was
it.
that.
Yeah, and I still love to see it. I don't go to the racetrack like that much, or if at all. But I watch the races on television and everything else. Just like everybody else. It's awesome. Okay, I really enjoy the sport, and if I had to do it over again, I would have done the same thing. Relived it like that. I mean, I remember when I was a young guy, and I'd go to the racetrack on a Saturday with $20, and man, I'll tell you what, if that $20, turned into 100, man, I was like living large. You know what I mean? It was awesome. It was awesome. So I had a ball there, I had a ball with the horses. Yeah.
I mean, that was a bucket list.
American Pharaoh, after he ran the race, okay, they took, he never ran again because they put him in stud, as a stud.
Yes.
So I guess, they get
what does that mean?
He was banging to make.
Yeah, he's banging
breeding.
the mares, Okay, so they put, so it's, he then, of course, earns millions and millions of dollars, okay, because each little date that they're on, which lasts only a few minutes, okay, it's like $250,000, $300,000 for that horse to bang your mare, your female.
Oh wow,
okay, or filly. So yeah, $250,000, $300,000 up bang. I mean, that's how much I used to charge when I was young.
I was gonna say that's I'm married, so say hi.
Well, man. Hey, Sky.
Look who it is.
What's up?
You're looking good, Rossi.
What's up, baby? Don't you love that girl? Oh my God,
I love
man!
you guys.
Guys,
we
you guys
love you
kissing
too.
now, huh? That's all you can show on this program, okay?
Yeah, that's it. I can't charge $250 anymore.
No, man.
So
you can charge $250.
Yeah, that's
25 cents. Yeah,
okay,
man.
let's go back to the bucket list. Have
What
you
bucket? Oh, the bucket list.
Your
yeah.
bucket list. I want
Yeah.
to know, because that was big for you. that was big for you. We talked about you going back to Brazil. I know that was really big for you to go back to Brazil.
Yeah.
To be able to go back and see it, and then having your horses. That's another big bucket list thing for you.
Yeah.
What are some things that you've done in your life that you never thought you would have been able to do? You know, I know the horses is one of those. That was like a big thing. Not that you didn't think you'd be able to do it, but
you know, one of the trips I made to New York, we went up to the Empire State Building, up to the top.
yeah.
Okay, and I jumped off of that without a parachute.
Oh my God!
What?
Oh my God!
But because I'm so foamy, you know, I'm just filled with foam and rubber and stuff like that. I bounced, you know, up, and then I bounced back down and bounced up, just like a ball. Boom, 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 and nothing happened. Look at me.
So
I'm here.
You're the first Tom Cruise.
Built like Teflon, baby.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is badass, man. He had that cable. Okay, I don't know if I do that with a cable.
Did you see what he did?
Yeah.
In the Olympics?
Yeah.
That was insane.
And then he drove a motorcycle into an airplane, and the airplane takes off. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
see it.
crazy.
He is that dude is a one of one. Did you see the latest Mission Impossible? Oh yeah, we did. We talked about the latest Mission
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah.
That it was like a cliffhanger for the second one.
Absolutely.
But the stunt where he jumped off of the mountain and parachuted, you know, with the motorcycle,
That was crazy.
Oh yeah.
and
that
they
was
did it
insane.
like 20 times.
Yeah,
so
he's
in my
good,
mind,
man. He's good. He's a good stunt guy. You know, I mean, he does most of his own stunts.
he's a great
Yeah.
actor. He's just a good actor too.
Yeah.
Color of Money, The Color of Money. I love that movie. Great movie. Paul Newman.
Yeah, Color of
and-
Money. Yeah, that was good.
Great.
And of
Jerry
course,
Maguire.
the one with Jack Nicholson, where
Oh yes.
you can't handle the truth.
A Few Good
Remember
Men.
that?
Oh
Great
my
movie.
God.
Great movie.
That was
Who's your
that was
favorite-
awesome.
Who's your favorite actor, Rossi?
Well, back in the day, it was Marlon Brando. Okay,
That was the man, huh?
yeah, back in the day, it was Marlon Brando for me, and he's the one that played the Godfather for you younger. I don't even know if you guys were. I don't know when that movie came out. I don't even know if you
Before
were
us,
born
yeah,
yet.
before we were born.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
movie came out
but
in like the 70s.
yeah, Marlon Brando was awesome. Okay, my favorite, you know, I'm going way back, man. I'm going way back. But one of my favorite actors, unfortunately, died in his in his mid 20s or late 20s, was James Dean, which believe it or not,
Amazing.
everybody copied. Everybody
Yep.
copied James Dean, man.
Yep.
He was amazing. Okay, he was
He was
amazing.
smooth.
But
No
too bad.
formal training. He had no formal training. He
So-
just had. He was like from Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he from somewhere in the middle?
I don't
Midwest?
know where he's from, but all I know is that he was amazing, man. Natural, supernatural,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
But Marlon Brando was my favorite back then. Now I can't remember right now. They're making so many movies right now because there's such a demand for movies in the different platforms on television, Netflix and Amazon and all these platforms. I mean, they're spitting movies out, by the hundreds, man.
Yep. Left and right.
You know what I'm saying?
Left
So,
and right.
For instance, I haven't been to a movie theater. The last movie that I saw was Elvis.
I loved it.
What's the guy's name, Isaac? You know who it
Austin
is.
Butler.
Austin Butler, which was an awesome movie. I saw that one. I liked it so much that I actually went to Memphis, to Graceland. Saw Elvis's Graceland. It was amazing, And then from there we went to Nashville.
That's another bucket list, though. That was another bucket
That
list.
was a
item for
bucket
you,
list.
Was to go
Yeah.
and see Graceland.
Go see Graceland. Don't forget that I grew up with Elvis.
Oh, I was getting there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I grew up with Elvis. He was like, he was the man back then. And then, of course, the Beatles when I was in my teens. Okay, and I'll never forget that I went to Brazil for about 3 or 4 weeks. I came back, and a friend of mine picked me up from the house after we arrived, and so we're going for a ride, and in his car. And he turns the radio on, and it's like, "I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand."
Yes.
And
Yes.
and he's rocking to it, and I'm going. Said Kenny. His name was Kenny Chase. And I said, "What the hell is that?" He goes, "Oh no, that's the Beatles." I said, "The Beatles? What are you talking about? You got Beatles in your car?" He goes, "No, the Beatles. It's a group, man." I said, "What the hell happened to Elvis?" So you know what I mean? I guess they came across
Overnight.
While I was gone, they came. So.
Did you like the Beatles? I've never heard you say anything about the Beatles.
No, I actually, not that I disliked them, but I was still into rock and roll and Elvis and
Yeah,
all
right,
that. So
right.
bands was not my thing, So back then,
Yeah, that's why. Okay, so let's get into the Elvis thing because the way that I grew up was we had, I'll never forget, in the 2-story house that we used to live in, the garage was converted. It went through multiple iterations, but for the main part, it was speakers. There was foam. There's like styrofoam and also just like insulation to keep the sound in the garage so that my father here could sing every single night.
Yeah, man.
And he still sings, and they have a baby grand piano in the house. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Why was music so? You've always sang. You've always been super theatrical. You used to sing. You sang with the South Florida Ballet, right? What was it? The Miami Ballet.
Yeah, I did My Way there for them. Yeah,
amazing.
Sinatra's
Another
My Way. Yeah,
one of my favorite nights that I'll never forget. And I was a little kid. I remember that. So why
that was in Hollywood? Hollywood, Florida.
Why do you love singing so much, Rossi?
Oh man,
Great
it's
question.
you know how some people say, I love what I do. I love what I do. Well, not too many people can say that. I have a business, and the business has afforded me a nice life and a good living and everything else. But if you ask me, do you love that? I go, no, I don't love that. I do it because it brings me comfort.
Right. Yes.
But what I really would love to do, or love to have done, was to be an entertainer and sing. And, so then if you ask me, hey, do you love what you do? I'd go, yeah, I really love what I do. But, listen, you can't have everything in life. I've learned that also. And you guys will too, as the years go by.
Yeah.
You can't have everything. So you gotta enjoy what you have and do the best you can with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rossi, you mentioned Elvis. What other like early influences did you have that like really were like, man, I like to sing, and like you like to emulate certain artists?
Yeah. Well,
What would you say?
Elvis was to me the best, and then after that, I loved Tom Jones. Tom Jones was awesome, and all of those guys, Sinatra, Tony Bennett, all of those guys. We didn't. It was
The Rat Pack.
The Rat
But
Pack.
you
Sammy
used to
Davis
have
Jr.
that little phonograph, not the phonograph, the little record player, or whatever, that you would play when you were a little kid. Who were those people that your parents? What's the music your parents would play in the house?
It was like, for instance, Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
Elvis,
Yeah.
Nat King Cole, Elvis, and there was a lot of them. Frankie Lane,
Yes.
a lot of different artists, back then. That's how I used to really love to hear Nat King Cole sing. He was awesome,
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of his songs, and I love his songs.
Yeah. And
But,
you are an entertainer through and through. That's something else that I was going to say, because even in your business.
Wait a minute, hold it. Let me say this. Thank you very much.
You see what I mean?
As Elvis
This is what I'm saying.
Thank you very much. I love my mama.
There's times, you see, there are times when Sky will have to tell me, "Hey, don't do Rossi. You're doing Rossi right now." I'm like, yeah, it's true. I can't.
Yeah.
It's not even possible. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean. You love singing but why? I wanted to get back to why you love it so much, because you said if somebody were to ask you, if you were an entertainer, do you love what you do? You'd say yes. Why do you love entertaining so much?
I don't know. It just I guess it's inside of you. It's inside of me.
Yeah.
And I get a tremendous amount of pleasure from it.
And people enjoy
seeing
it.
people
Yeah.
seeing people smile and happy, and at peace with themselves, at peace with the world for that moment. It's good to see, man. It's nice to see. It's calming. It's beautiful. It's just I really enjoy it.
That was a deep answer.
Pardon me.
That was deep.
Well,
didn't think it was gonna get that deep.
Thank you very much. I love my mama.
Rossi.
I love
Rossi,
my mom.
Is it a coincidence that Miss Rossi's in the arts? Is that something you guys both bonded over, or was it just a coincidence that
No,
Like,
man, it was not something. No, that wasn't the initial attraction. It was not that at all. Okay, but I didn't know that I could sing. Okay, don't forget that I was already up there in the years when I met Yvette, and I didn't know that I could sing until I met her. I
And
remember
what
that I
happened?
was.
How did you know? How did you
Well,
know?
well, what happened was that I
That's
had
the
this.
story he wants.
Yeah, I had this little stupid karaoke machine when they
Yes,
first came
yes.
out. You know, karaoke was a big deal, and of course, I always liked to sing and blah blah blah. So I had that with me, and Yvette came by and she says, "Hey, what's that little thing there?" And I said, "Oh, that's a little, the new thing now, the karaoke, karaoke machine." So she says, "Well, do you know how to sing?" I go, "No, not really. I mean, but." She says, "Well, let me hear you sing something." The only thing I could remember was, the Elvis
Yeah.
tunes. That's the only thing that I remembered.
Yes.
So I sang. I forget what it was. I think "Love Me Tender" or something like that,
Yeah.
or a song like that. And she says, "God, that sounded good, but you were completely, off tune and you're out."
She's an intense critic.
Yeah.
She is also,
You're
and she still
completely out of
is.
tune. And so but you have a nice voice, she said. I said, "Oh, that's awesome. Can you learn how to be on tune?" I asked her, and she goes, "Sure." And I started learning.
Yep.
I started learning, and so that's how I began. Now, keep in mind, okay, that I was already in my 50s. So I didn't get the opportunity as a young man, to perform and so forth. So, but
But
it's
then
been,
you performed later on.
oh
You
yeah, I
performed
performed
A
many
lot.
times later
Yeah.
on.
Lot.
Yeah, but nothing, nothing big. I would have loved to been in the do a concert. I mean, I'm talking about huge stuff, and I would have really enjoyed that. But I started late, and I had other interests too, which was I was in my business, trying to develop my business, and I was so this became a pastime and a hobby that I love.
and that you do it with every single moment that you can, which I love also.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and because this also brings you a sense. That's something that I've learned from watching you in your business and doing this, is the fact that you still did things that made you happy. Like, I know that singing makes you happy. I know it because I see it. You
Oh
know what I
God,
mean? And
yes.
you love it.
Yeah,
You
it makes
love
me happy.
having that. It makes
Yeah.
you very happy to do that. So, I think it's important. That's something that I've learned, to find things that make you happy, even outside of, you do the work you have to do, right? You
Yeah.
develop your business, you make sure everything's
Correct.
okay, but you have to have the things that make
Yeah.
you happy
Yeah.
outside of that as well.
Absolutely. And another thing that's made me happy is going with George Michael's dad to many concerts. Okay, and I enjoyed his father's and his mother's company so much, and we visited different artists and everything else because his father is in the business. He's
Yep.
in the he's in the music business, promoting these artists and everything else. And George has been so kind to Yvette and I. Your father, George Michael, been so kind, and your mom gave us tickets to beautiful venues, man. And we've sat front row seat. I can go on and on and on, but
They love you too, man.
I thank them for everything they've done, and they're a pleasure to be with. I love them.
Likewise.
I love your parents, bro.
They love you too, Rossi.
Yeah, and you not so much. Your parents are great. though. Oh man,
my
you guys are out of
God.
control, man. I wish
Man.
you were young again. I whip your asses all over again.
You know what's funny? I think that all of my friends and all the boys that I grew up with, we all still have a healthy amount of fear surrounding
You
Rossi.
should, okay?
No, it's more respect now than it is fear.
Well, you
but
better-
when we were
you better have
younger,
fear, respect, and
George,
fear.
let me ask you a question, George. Has your view on Rossi changed from when we were children to now? Has it?
Not really. I mean, it's always been someone I've respected and held in high regard.
Well, thank you.
I
Thank
mean,
you. Thank you,
probably the
gentlemen.
older I've gotten, I've it's like someone you want to aspire to be, but in your own way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Not
for
really, because it's just Rossi's. I think all of our parents have been very consistent with who they are. So, like, it's
That's you wear your heart on your sleeve, and what you see is what you get.
yeah,
That's
And that's the way it should be.
100%.
Instead of that fakey shit. You know what I mean?
That is 100%.
Be who you are.
100.
If
I
you
agree.
like it,
There's-
fine. If you don't,
Yeah, that's what
move
I mean.
on.
That's what I'm
Right?
saying.
Go around
Yeah,
the corner.
I mean, Rossi's always been the same person. Like, and what I mean by a healthy amount of fear and respect is I'll never forget. We were probably like 14 ish. We were in the pool one day, and we had Rossi wasn't home, and then we all got out of the pool, and then we went inside to start eating or whatever. And I remember Rossi got home and he saw all of our shit outside.
Yeah,
I was just hanging out outside, and Rossi was like, "What is all that shit outside?" And we're like, "No, we just got out of the pool, whatever. We're clean." He's like, "You guys have 5 minutes to clean all that shit up." And this is when everybody's already starting to go through puberty and shit. Everybody's trying to be like a little tough guy and all. We have people that are playing football and shit already.
Yeah.
Immediately, everybody stopped eating, did whatever we were doing, stopped and ran outside and started cleaning everything. That is one of
man.
the
I went
things
out
that
there
think
5
about.
minutes later. The place was like clean, okay? And I went,
It was
good.
just so funny. That's what I mean. It's funny because Rossi was that guy, and then Rossi was also the guy that would like get in the pool and play around with us and throw us all around. You know what I mean? It's the healthy respect factor, which is I think something that we grew up with.
You guys always respected me, and I appreciated that. You guys were awesome, man. Awesome growing up. You're awesome now. And God loves you. I love you, man. You're the best, okay? The best ever.
We're very lucky. We're very blessed to have the parents we have. I wanted to ask you, Rossi,
Yeah, go ahead.
for us as where we are in our lives as men, what would you tell each one of us on something we have to work on, something that we should look forward to, enjoy right now? What is something that we can do better in where we are in our lives right now?
Well, everything. You can do everything better. There's always room for improvement, man.
That's true. That's not a bad answer. That's pretty true.
Yeah. You can always do something better, okay? Nothing's perfect, though. Remember that. There's no perfection in this world. So
That's also very true.
But to climb the ladder, trying to get there is awesome, okay? But don't expect perfection because it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but, do the best you can. Try. Do everything that you can to fulfill your life. But don't forget that the most important thing in this world is happiness, okay? Which you cannot buy. You cannot buy.
How do you make happiness?
Well, it's inside of you. It's what you want to do with your life and how you want to influence the people around you and how you feel about the people around you and how they feed from you and you feed from them. And that brings you happiness, okay? I mean, there's so many things. I mean, and happiness is something that you, like I said before, you cannot buy, all right? So, and health, of course, to be healthy and happy, because you can have all the money in the world if you're not healthy. You can't move, and what's the use?
Yeah.
So to be healthy is amazing, and of course to have to be happy, and happiness is not measured, man. And you feel it inside. Okay, it's got nothing to do with the outside. It's inside of you. Okay, if you're happy inside, the whole world is happy.
That's true.
Right?
When you're smiling. Yep.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Smiles with you.
That's right. True. That's right.
Rossi, does it fascinate you sometimes? Because I know, like, hearing stories about my dad and his journey of where he was born and where we are now in life. Like, does it fascinate you to see that, like, you were born in a whole different country and now you're here in the States, and like life is probably everything and even more than what you expected? Like, what has that lifelong journey been like of like starting where you were and being where you are now, like in a beautiful place like South Florida?
Oh yeah, man. Well, I feel very fortunate, obviously, and very thankful, okay, for the life that I've lived. I have, I tell people all the time, listen, when you go to my funeral, I don't want to see all that crying and handkerchiefs being passed around because you didn't bring one. so
Every
don't.
every real man should have a handkerchief,
Yeah,
right? Is that what you're trying to
exactly.
say?
And hey,
That's what
back
my
in the day
dad
it was
says.
now it's Kleenex out of a box, But anyway,
That's what my dad says.
so remember, I tell people, do not cry. Okay, do not. There's no sorrow. There's no sorrow because regrets. I had a few, but then again, too few to mention. So don't worry about me having regrets because, like I said, I've had them, but too few to mention. I can't even remember. Okay. So I'm happy. I've been happy all my life and I'm going to die happy. Okay. So, what's the big deal? I want you to party at my departing. That kind of rhymed. I want you to party at my departing. There you go.
There ain't no party like a Lou Rossi party. That's
Yes,
something
sir.
Else.
Yeah.
That's
We got a rock and roll, like they used to say
that's
back in the day.
for sure, bro. Those parties are wild. You remember? So when we talked about you coming on the podcast, also,
Yeah.
Rossi, you were like, "I'm gonna go on for 15 minutes." We're already pretty much an hour in.
Oh my
Okay,
God,
so
I got to go, man.
That's
Yeah.
No. Hold on, time out.
I
We're
didn't
gonna
know
wrap
it was
it up
an hour.
now.
We've been talking
No,
for an
this is
hour.
that's
Oh,
what
no.
I mean.
Well, the first 15 were just us getting our bearings.
Yeah,
right.
but that's perfect. We're gonna
Oh,
wrap
yeah,
it up
an
now.
hour. Jeez,
Yeah.
what the hell?
This has been incredible.
This is crazy.
Incredible. Okay, so listen now.
Yeah.
Listen and think because we close our podcast out with 2 questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the first one, and then George Michael's gonna ask the second one.
Okay.
So my question has to do with the whole idea of a steel tissue, and I'll explain what that means. Because a tissue can wipe away a drop of blood, and it can wipe away a drop of like just a tear.
Yeah.
Okay. And my whole idea behind that is resilience and vulnerability.
Right.
Okay? I think both of them go kind of hand in hand, both of those things. So my question is, what in your life has made you resilient and what in your life has made you vulnerable?
What in my life has made me vulnerable?
There's a lot. I can think of a lot. You're a veteran.
Yeah.
You've had to go through a lot of things.
Oh, you're
So
talking
just-
about in experiences. Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah,
but,
and whatever. No, it could
yeah.
be an answer from whatever. It doesn't have to be experiences. It could be from wherever you think.
Yeah, but I've never. It's funny. I've never felt vulnerable. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't think of anything when you said that. I can't think of anything.
That's okay. That's,
I really
that's
can't.
Fine.
What's the other one? What's the
Resiliency.
steel tissue?
Yeah, resilient and vulnerability. So
Yes.
what has made you resilient in your life?
Well, I think what's made me resilient is the work ethic that I learned from my father. Okay, has taken me through life and through all the good times, bad times, and in between times. Okay, and having that work ethic has made me who I am. I think it's important, and my life has been. Like I said, I have no regrets. My life's been awesome, and I'm happy. And I have a wonderful family, which you, of course, are part of. And your mother, man, she makes me so happy. So I mean, listen, I have no complaints. The only thing that made me feel vulnerable, and it just came to me right now, Isaac, is when my brother passed away. Okay,
Yes.
Charlie.
Yes.
And what really got me is that he was younger than I was, and it was unexpected. You don't expect somebody younger than you to go before you because biologically speaking, the years dictate who goes first and who goes last, right? But it's not always like that. So I felt very vulnerable when he passed and kind of left me here. So anyway, so that was the one instance. The rest of it has been awesome. Okay, and I want to thank you guys for having me on. As always, you are loved. Okay, by the Rossi man. And I really enjoyed being here today and talking to you guys. And it's been amazing, man. It's been awesome. And you guys are so good
fun.
at this. Okay, so good. I hope that you have more than 3 viewers.
That's why I said doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
Our 3 viewers will watch. Okay, George Michael. George Michael has the last question. So
Go ahead, George Michael. You're the
and
one.
you got to listen to it.
So my question is a fill in the blank. It's very simple. You can make it profound as you want it to be, or like I said, you can just keep it simple. But it's basically fill in the blank, and it's my name is blank, and I am blank.
So you fill in those blanks. Like
Sure.
for
Yeah.
instance, I would say
My
whatever.
name-
My name is
My name is Superman, and I am unbeatable.
that was right on brand. That was
Okay, how's that?
That was
That's
perfect. That was perfect. Rossi, I want to tell you,
Oh man, you guys are crazy.
am so I know this was amazing. Before
I can't wait for part 2.
I can't wait for a part 2. But as you know, you have made me the man that I am today. The lessons I've learned.
Well, you're
while
a
some
good
of-
man, so I did a good job.
Well, you did a good job, and I love you for it. I love you more than you'll ever know.
That's awesome.
You had a hand in raising all of us.
Yep.
Yep.
You know,
I hope so.
you did. You had a hand in raising all of us, and the stuff that you've taught us. Sometimes I don't even realize that I learned that lesson until after I've already done what I've been doing, and I'm like, oh shit, that was something that Rossi used to talk about.
Yeah.
So just know all the things that you have, that you are, that you've done, survive way longer than you'll ever imagine.
Well,
'Cause
that's awesome.
going to keep
man.
on going.
That's awesome. And I'm going to, I recorded that song "My Way," and that's what I'm, the digital version,
We'll put it on this episode.
and that is going to be my perpetuity. on
Yes,
this earth.
and we'll put it on the end of this episode. We'll put a little
Oh, you got
clip
it.
of the song.
That's
We'll put it on
awesome.
at the end. I'll ask
I
my mom to send it.
remember Isaac sent it to us in a group chat, and I was
Yes.
like, I want this to be played at my funeral.
Yeah, I always tell people
That version, the one you sang.
Yeah, well, thank you. When you sing my way, you can't be like 25 years old or 30 or whatever, because you the song says I did it my way. What the hell did you do? You went to the 7-Eleven, you went around the block. Give me a fucking break. What'd you do? I did it my way. That means you lived a life and did it your way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention, and it goes on and on and on. Tell us
Let's hear a little
story.
bit. Let's give us a little
Oh
bit.
man,
Give us a
no,
little bit.
my voice is messed up, because
I know.
I have a cold.
What a singer. That's amazing. Well, listen.
Just know, Rossi, without you, this podcast probably wouldn't come to fruition.
Oh, come on, man! You guys are
and
too
it
kind.
never would have had this. It never. Hold on. It never would have had what I'm.
This is the Cafe Con Podcast.
I love it.
That sounds so expensive. Love you,
Oh,
boys.
man. That's awesome.
Love you guys.
That's awesome.
This is the Cafe Con Podcast.